Welcome Daipi Sogong aboard. Your learning journey starts now. Ever wondered if the smart machines we build could actually feel? Is consciousness just a fancy word for really complex code? Or is there something more fundamental at play? Forget the philosophical hot air for a second. Let's get practical. Can we even build it? And if so, what are the real limits? So, how do we even start thinking about building artificial consciousness? Forget vague notions of sentience for a moment. Let's use a framework. Think of it as the ladder of understanding. You need data, then information, then knowledge, then wisdom, and finally, perception or action. For something to be conscious, not just smart, this whole loop needs to be closed and self-sustaining. It's not enough to have massive data. The system must continuously calibrate its values and goals, update its self-model over time, and feed back its actions into the loop. The math shows us maintaining this requires constant energy input against entropy. Basically, you gotta keep paying the maintenance bill, or your consciousness fades like a bad memory. Okay, so maybe we can build a system that ticks all the boxes internally. But here's the kicker, can we ever know for sure? Humans have built-in limits, our energy, lifespan, attention span, and crucially, our ability to verify things. There's a verification horizon. When an AI system gets so complex, so capable, that it exceeds what any single human or even organization can fully test and understand. When its effective capability Q surpasses gamma times n test, where n test is what we can check, guess what? We tend to just accept it as conscious. It becomes a social fact, a working assumption based on trust and performance, long before we have scientific proof. So the feasibility of recognizing artificial consciousness might hit a wall not in physics, but in human cognitive bandwidth. This leads us to a crucial distinction. We're talking about two different questions. First, engineering feasibility. Can we build a machine that behaves like a conscious entity, meeting certain measurable criteria derived from theories of consciousness? Think of it as building a convincing robot. Second, philosophical identifiability. Can we ever know if that robot truly feels? This is the classic hard problem of consciousness, and the answer, based on our verification limits, is likely no. We can create incredibly sophisticated mimics, but proving subjective experience feels like trying to prove someone else's headache. So, the path forward isn't about solving metaphysics. It's about engineering systems whose behavior meets specific, verifiable standards and creating governance frameworks around those claims. So, wrapping it up, the dream of artificial consciousness isn't blocked by some fundamental law of physics. The real hurdles are architectural, building that sustainable DIP loop, especially the value action feedback, and societal, figuring out how to verify and govern these potentially conscious-like systems. The future isn't about whether they feel, but how we design them to function reliably and ethically within our world. Your challenge? Start thinking about measurable indicators, auditable processes, and shifting the focus from abstract definitions to concrete, actionable engineering. The floor is yours.